Hey, what's up? I'm Adam if you're new here, and if you're returning, then you know what's good. I wanted to start the year off by doing a Q&A so that you guys could get to know me a little bit better, ask any questions you had. The questions I've got range from like fitness to tech to lifestyle, so hopefully it'll give you better insight into me and also my opinions on some things, because you guys have given or asked for my opinion on certain situations and stuff. So yes, there are quite a lot of questions, so I'm going to try and get through as many as possible. But yeah, let's start now then. So the first question is, what is your ancestry and are you familiar with African? What is your ancestry and are you familiar with African American culture? So I am half Jamaican and half Sierra Leonean. If you don't know, Sierra Leone is a really small country on the west coast of Africa. Not everyone knows where it is, some people do. And I feel like everyone knows about Jamaica because our reputation precedes us. In terms of African American culture, I think it would be naive for me to say that I fully am aware and understanding of African American culture, primarily because the main reason or the main encounters I have with it are things in the media. So it's only the elements of the culture that become mainstream and that could be distorted and whatever. And so perhaps you could say I know some elements or understand some elements of African American culture, but I'm not immersed in it to the point where I would say, yeah, like I'd be comfortable saying this, that, about language, about culture, about fashion, about music. Not so much so. Next question is, what are your travel plans for 2022? I love talking about travel, primarily because if you've been on my channel, you know that I do love to travel. For this year, I would like to go to the Caribbean at some point. I would, funny enough about the African American culture, America, I would like to go to the States. I haven't been for about 8 to 10 years, and the last time I was there was for summer school at Yale, so it wasn't even really a holiday where I got to explore and things. So definitely that. I'd like to go to Sierra Leone this year and perhaps Dubai at some point in the year as well. But I'm still working out my travel plans and exactly where I want to go and at what points, so this will develop. But yeah, travel it's a must for me. Okay, so the next question is a fitness related question. How do you combat the feeling that everyone is judging you and competing against you in the gym? This is interesting actually, because I think it's actually not about the competition and the judging, but other things that are going on when you go to the gym. With competing, I think it's all about how you enter the gym. It's a space like any other space and will be affected by your perspective. So if you come in there with that element that it is a competition already and that you are in competition with everyone else there and they feel the same, then it will impact how you experience that space, the gym. Versus you go in there focused on yourself, knowing why you're there, what you're trying to achieve. It's going to be a lot different experience. I mean, I just zone out pretty much. My headphones go on, I know what I'm doing that day, and it's just kind of me and the gym. Of course there are people around there and sometimes you interact, and that's a fun part of the gym. But competition wise, it's not about bringing all of your ego to the gym, and it can be quite dangerous when you do so and you start thinking you're competing with others, say in weightlifting or powerlifting or running or whatever it is. Focus on you, center it about you. And in terms of people judging you, this I think speaks to how confident you are in the gym space, and a lot of people aren't confident, especially when they first start off, which is completely normal. So in order to like combat that feeling of being judged, which is really more about how you feel, be prepared for the gym. So like get a guide or a plan so you know what you're doing when you get into the gym. It's not a factor of, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing and I've got this machine. And get a guide, or at least write down your plan so you know what you're doing that day. Additionally, make use of things like PTs if you can. If you have the resources, invest in a PT. It will change your life, not only with form, but they can help with programs and stuff like that. If not, then try the inductions. Often when you start a gym, it comes with an induction where they'll explain to you how things work and how to use certain machines, even often how to do certain exercises like a squat with the squat rack and so forth. So make use of that so that you know how to use the equipment in the gym. But don't forget to enjoy it. It's about you and it's about what you're trying to achieve at the gym. So that's the primary focus. The next question is, what is your hair routine? I feel like you guys are going to split my neck open, split me open by the jugular if I don't explain to you guys all my hair routine. You see me on this channel with lots of different hairstyles because I'm always switching it up, especially because I do a lot of protective styles. But you've seen my natural hair on this channel, you've seen me braids and locks, you've seen me in wigs, you've seen me in sew-ins, so you've seen quite a variety. And so obviously the hair care will vary with that. When my hair's in a ponytail, that will be very different to say when it's in a sew-in or when it's just out naturally. But yes, that's it. In terms of taking care of my natural hair, it is protective styling primarily, and it's regular deep conditioning. Every time I wash my hair, take my hair out, it will be deep conditioned, and I like to make it moist. Like, it needs to keep the moisture within as much as possible and seal it in with oils and things, and that's how I take care of my natural hair. Okay, the next question is, how old are you? I am 25 years old. I turned 25 about 3 months ago. I can't believe I'm a quarter of a century. Like, actually, wow, incredible. The next question is about hip dips. So another fitness related question. Hip dips, can they actually be minimized? Okay, hip dips are a really interesting one because I know they are a sore spot or a point of distress for a lot of women, because obviously a lot of the images we're fed are of perfectly hourglass figures, and the presence of dips is not there, or are not there. Dips are completely natural, and I'm just going to get this out there right now. There's no way to dramatically reduce the appearance of hip dips without surgery, primarily like a BBL. It's just not possible because of the physical structure of the body and where the muscles sit relative to, you know, the actual bones that hold us up. But that doesn't mean to say you can't do things to create the illusion of the figure more. So like, I still have hip dips, always had hip dips, but I have quite large quads because I've built them up, and more muscular glutes, which all help to build a more heavier bottom half relative to like my waist, and so that creates kind of the illusion, but my hip dips are still there. At the same time, you balance that with a more wider upper body, so like the back, and then you start to create that illusion. But yeah, you have to accept that your body is your body, and you can't come and kill it because you want to get rid of your hip dips. It's just not possible with exercise to the extent that a lot of people would like to see their hip dips change. But that's not to say that you can't have an amazing physique anyway, right? Like, that's part of your body, and it should all be about training to be the best of what you can be, but understanding that there are limits to what the gym can do. Next question, how do you stay motivated on your goals throughout the year? This is a really interesting question. I think there's two parts to this. Focusing first on raw motivation, like the desire to do things. I think it comes down to your why and understanding why you want to achieve that goal. I've spoken about this in other videos, but it's really important because that will fuel your motivation right at the start, knowing that I want to achieve this with like coding because I want this job and I want to enter this career, or I want to achieve this much amount of weight loss because I want to be, whatever it is, your why will really form the foundation of your motivation. So that's really important. But motivation runs out, it's not always there, and it's not the most reliable thing. It's not reliable at all, which is why what's more important is discipline and routines, and using these to progress towards your goal. So motivation is there and it's really useful, but discipline and routine is more so. Think about a gym goal. If you're wanting to lift more, there are going to be days where you're not motivated to go to the gym, but if you've got a routine, you're disciplined enough to know that I'm going to go anyway, you're likely to see yourself progress towards your goals. And the really interesting thing is often it's results that help drive and fuel motivation. For example, if you are going to the gym regularly, even when you're not motivated, when you are, and you start to see results, like you start to see yourself become more muscular, stronger, running faster, whatever it is, that then provides you with more motivation, more drive, more excitement to keep going. And so your motivation is fueled by the actual act and the results. So thinking about it like that is a real way to progress towards your goals throughout the year, I'd say, and that's what I always do. Additionally, I have a deep fear of mediocrity and not being the best that I can be, so there's that too. The next question is regarding YouTube. I love fitness, I love makeup, I'm actually a makeup artist, and fashion as well. Can I combine these niches on my channel? I'm so confused, please help. I think of course you can. Your channel is your space to create and give to the world what you want effectively, right? You share what you want. And if those are the things that interest you most, then I think go for it. I know there is sometimes a tendency when you're on YouTube to think, oh, I've got to niche down really early or whatever it is, because you see those maybe channels are doing really well, or it can be easier to build an audience at first when it's focused on one thing because people know understandably what they're coming to that channel for. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a single thing. It can be something I've heard people speak about, pillars of YouTube, so pillars of your channel which hold it up. So you have 3 distinctive things, or 4, however many you pick, usually around 3, that define your channel. So for you it could be makeup, fitness and fashion. And to be honest, those things are not as far from each other as you might think. They're all to do with looking and feeling better about yourself, so they could actually work really well together. Okay, the next question is opinions on dating while focusing on goals and becoming your best self. This is a really interesting question, and I think it speaks to how we see relationships and what they can bring to us versus what they may take from us. I think there is no need to, say, ignore the possibility of a relationship because you're progressing towards X, Y, B, and Z. Like, whatever your goal is, being in a relationship, and a healthy relationship, often can help you progress towards that goal even more, right? When you're with the right person who's supportive of your dreams and you're supportive of theirs, you can fuel each other. So it's not necessary that you have to put off a relationship to pursue X, Y, B, and Z. I've seen people who have grown up and been in relationships from very young and done it together and grown together and build their lives together, and it's worked beautifully for them and fantastic, and they think they have their soulmate, and that's amazing. But I've also seen people do it separately, right? Like, they've progressed quite a lot, say in their careers or whatever it is that they're trying to get to the end goal for. They've progressed towards that as individuals and then come together more. But it's no right or wrong way, I think, but I just don't think we have to think about things in terms of relationships being mutually exclusive from achieving goals. That being said, becoming your best self mentally in the mindset that you're in is extremely important, and people shouldn't be getting into relationships, in my opinion, if you're not in a healthy mindset, because that's when potentially you can cause damage to others or are more susceptible to damage being done to you. That is the case where it's like, unless you're in that right frame of mind, relationships are not, they should not be of interest to you and not be something that you're pursuing, in my personal opinion. But otherwise, I see no problem. Next question, who does your hair? It always looks so beautiful. If you do it yourself, we need tutorials. So I do all of my own hair with the exception of my sew-in. I learned everything on YouTube, so it definitely is all out there and just trial and error. I enjoy doing my own hair because I have control over the final product. If I want to tweak things, I can do that. And obviously it's quite cost effective to do your own hair because you just have to get the equipment that you need. If you need to purchase hair, anything like that, then you just get it yourself, and then the labor is incurred by you. Tutorials, I'm not sure that's the route I want to go down my channel yet. There may be something that I incorporate into my channel or onto my Instagram at some point, but for the moment I haven't got any plans to do that. But stay tuned, I might change my mind. Next question is, how do you get over gym anxiety, especially when there's lots of men? So I think I spoke about this. Okay, so my chicken in the oven is ready. One moment, guys. Okay, so that's done. I'm finished dealing with the chicken. I'm back, guys. Next question is, how do you get over gym anxiety, especially when there's lots of men? So I think I've spoken about this already. Gym anxiety really has to do with confidence and preparedness. How ready you are to be in the gym space. And so if you do the things that I suggested, like coming with a guide or a plan, knowing about form through either inductions or PT sessions, potentially coming with someone. So if you've got a friend that you can come to the gym with, that could help a lot. As it pertains to men in the gym, as much as we joke about guys like flexing in the mirror and stuff like that, most guys at the gym are really quite friendly and quite accommodating. So they will give up some space potentially if you are needing that, or they may be able to guide you in certain directions if you even interact with them like that. But for the most part, they're just there like everyone else to get on with their sessions. However, if you are still feeling uncomfortable because perhaps you've had some bad experiences, because on both sides people at the gym can, you know, not be all that great to be around just because humans are humans, then potentially going to an all-women's gym or a gym that has a all-women's section, or just going at a time that's not so busy, so there's just less people in general, men and women included. And that could just maybe it's not that there are too many men, it's just that there's too many people in general and you just need your space to feel comfortable. So consider that. Okay, so the next question is your tech journey so far and future aspirations. I've spoken quite a bit on my channel about tech and my journey, so I'm just going to briefly go over this. I didn't study a technical related degree at university. I studied geography. There was tiny bits of programming here and there because I did physical geography, but let's be honest, I wasn't building applications or supporting applications or anything like that. I didn't know about algorithms, data structures, nada. So it wasn't until I came out of university and started like looking at courses myself. I've spoken about Code Academy, that I came to really understand the power of programming and what could be done and application building, and really enjoyed it. Then I got my first job, and part of that was them training us up in certain languages, upskilling in things like DevOps related skills and an understanding and things like that. So that's how I got into it. And then my first job was in the finance and insurance industry, which was really a great way to enter the tech world. Like, I'm really grateful for that opportunity, because it could have been a lot harder had I not gone down the route I did to break into that. And so yeah, for the last year I was working at that job, my first job, as a site reliability engineer. In terms of where I want to go in the future, there's so much going on, and it's really exciting in tech. Like, there's obviously blockchain technology, the crypto space, there's artificial intelligence, there's still growth within the cloud and things. There's just a lot going on, and so I'm definitely exploring that and the ways that I can get involved and bring my creative elements to that. So the next question is, what are your hobbies outside fitness and work? I feel attacked, not because of the question that was posed, but because I have a tendency to get really involved in work and in things I do, and not spend so much time on these things like hobbies and crafts and stuff like that. But content creation is one of those things. I love making videos, I love editing it, I love the process, getting B-roll and things like that. It's really fun. Don't get me wrong, it's quite hard at times, but it's really great to see you build something from nothing, from an idea, into an actual finished physical product, well, a digital product that can be seen and viewed and captured and spread around and shared with loads of people. So that's one thing. Travel, I'd consider travel a hobby. I love doing that. I've done that for years, like I've mentioned, and so that's something I will always, so long as I'm fortunate enough to do, keep doing. What else would I say is a hobby? Reading. I've always been really big on reading since I was young. But I do like to change, or I have seen myself change the way I consume information. I think there's still value to be had in reading, of course. It's a different way of communicating and taking in information. But one of the most exciting things is I've just got a new camera, and I'm really trying to get into photography now and videography. And so I'm challenging myself to take a picture or take pictures every single day this year. And I'm probably going to post those on like a separate Instagram page and just store that up so that I can like track my progress and just see how things come along. And it's just fun. Like, life's fun, and so far I've learned from photography it's really therapeutic. Like, I went to an art gallery the other day with my friend, and it's just kind of you and the camera and you trying to work. It's a different thing altogether, and so that's been fun so far. The next question is, I want to start my weightlifting journey this year. Should I start with a full body routine or a split routine? I am personally in favor of the split routine. I just think primarily because you can target those muscle groups in more detail, more depth, apply more resistance in one session, and also it allows for recovery. So let's say even if I split it upper and lower, when I'm not training one, I'm training the other, so the other's resting. So I start with upper body, or the next day when I do lower body, it's giving my upper body a chance to rest and recover, and then I might take a break day and then I might go again. So some sort of split I think is really useful. I do obviously I work muscle groups that kind of work together quite well, so glutes and hamstrings, often you're engaging both at the same time with exercises to some degree, chest and triceps, back and biceps. So those kind of splits can be really useful, but again, it's up to you. If full body is the way you enjoy exercising the most, then do it, because that is better than doing nothing. So yeah, it's all about you and what you want to do, but I would go for the split routine personally. So the next question is, how do you keep your hair so sleek whilst working out consistently? Often I do not. Often my hair frizzes up so much because I sweat from my scalp when I'm training. And so it's just about kind of like going home and neating up again. So if I have my ponytail, my slick back ponytail, then I'll just have to go home, apply some more gel and lay it down again. And it's usually good to go after that. I'm definitely thinking of doing a video on how I like revive that kind of look after the gym and training. So yes, what else would I say? That's it. And often my hairstyle is different. So if I'm wearing a wig, then I'm not gonna wear the wig to the gym, and then that one's quite self-explanatory. But other things like sew-ins, I might style my hair different ways so I don't have to keep straightening my hair all the time and causing damage to it. Like, I might just braid the front or the leave out. And so yeah, there's different ways, and it all depends on the style. But definitely I can't avoid sweating at the gym, and so there's usually some level of hairstyle distortion Finally, do you track macros, and is it necessary in the beginning? It can be really helpful to track, especially in the beginning when you're not quite sure about your intake, what you're consuming, how much you're consuming. Getting that data and collecting that data can be very useful at the start of a journey. I've used tracking, as I've said in other videos, off and on during my fitness journey. The thing is, the more you track, the more information you'll get, and you won't have to track every day and stuff like that, because you'll kind of have an idea of the macros consumed in food, especially if you're eating the same food like often, or same meals kind of often. Then you won't have to track every single day. Okay, I've been recording for about 30 minutes, so I'm going to stop here. But I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you got to know me a little bit better, and I was hopefully helpful in some of the questions that you asked. I'll see you in the next video.